About 2 weeks ago, I saw the film Everything Everywhere All at Once, and as I detailed in my original review that I posted to this channel, I was left underwhelmed. Upon first viewing, I appreciated the film, but I wouldn't say I liked it, especially to the degree that everyone else had been praising it. It became one of few projects in recent years that became a cinematic mirage, holding all of the aesthetic and thematic intents that would excite and entice the film enthusiast in me without succeeding in establishing that desired connection. But I stand here today, or should I say sit here today, a changed viewer, acknowledging the brilliance in Everything Everywhere All at Once thanks to a second viewing. A surrealist examination of generational trauma that uses the multiverse as a means for inward introspection, the Daniels' deft direction anchors a transcultural media adventure that seeks to understand existence in both the personal and universal forms. The roots of all of our decisions, our successes and failures, our resentments and our prides, all derive out of our insular aura of feeling lesser than, of not amounting to expectations, subjecting us all to an unbreakable cycle of unmotivated existence, seen in the circular image of the everything bagel that represents joy, or the black sharpied circle on Evelyn's karaoke tax form. For all the risks the Daniels employ creatively, their thematic narrative is a time and tested one, but that does not mean it has less substance because it's something we're all familiar with. It's one that connects us all because of its universal truths that lie at its center. They use signifiers throughout that have hidden meanings into the history of film that all coalesce to represent the infinite possibilities of life and the constants that follow us everywhere. The ensemble cast rises to the challenge of this film, all embodying the varying personalities of each multiverse while keeping the souls of the characters intact and recognizably similar in every version that they create. And of course, anchoring everything is Michelle Yeoh's grounded yet absurd performance as Evelyn Wang, learning that throughout every possible lifetime she could have lived, her constants are her family. Perfection is not guaranteed. In fact, it is a lie mostly promoted by childhood dreams and even the advent of film itself. So her understanding of her own place, however small it may be, within the vastness of the universe and beyond. On second viewing, when I come to understand what the movie's all about and every choice that is made, every multiverse that we travel to, you're able to appreciate the experience so much greater than you are during the experience. It's like an intense roller coaster ride that you look back on more fondly once you're off the roller coaster because you have the memory. It's an intangible element of your own mind and your own lived experience that you have after the event. And I think what is so clear to me is that I was deciding what this movie was during the event. I think it's something that in our social media infused culture, we strive as a society to define things as quickly as we can and then move on to the next. And I definitely feel that that's what I did with this film. I had, from what I heard from other people and what this film seemed to be at face value, I had written it off. I had decided what the movie was halfway through even. And I will admit that there was a bit of a reductive nature to my original analysis of this film. This is why I felt it was necessary to upload a new review for the film, not to necessarily disparage or eradicate my original thoughts, but let this be a companion to that original review. My feelings of this film when I came out of the theater for the first time are in the past, but in the present, I'm a different person. And I feel that this channel, what I will strive to do is express my thoughts and my opinions in its current form. And so I felt that I needed to share my thoughts on this film now that they had changed so drastically. At its center, this is a story about understanding what makes you is to understand your own power in the universe. And I kind of am glad that this movie shows me that not everything is going to play its cards the way you expect it to. You're not going to walk an expected path and Very rarely do I have these sort of experiences where my mind completely changes on a certain film. But it kind of feels poetic that if I was going to have that experience with any film, it would be this one. The technical craftsmanship of the film seeks to create this controlled visual distraction, to have the viewer be as lost in the bright colors and adrenaline pace to mirror how lost Evelyn is in her own existence. Influences from Hollywood and Asian cinema and beyond create this cacophonous visual framework that not only manages to capture the blurring of cultural identities that many immigrants experience, but even accomplishes what few films even aspire to exhibit, to represent the unifying pursuit of film itself. Every film is bonded by the same artistic purpose that lies in every single filmmaker who chooses to make a film. And this film is a conduit to pay respect to the unlimited variety of filmmakers for more than a century. With homages to Kung Fu cinema, the works of Wong Kar-wai, Pixar, the modern superhero blockbuster, and even National Geographic with a memorably hilarious but insightful sequence involving two rocks on a landscape. This one film is as close to a holistic understanding of cinema's everlasting invitation to both filmmaker and audience in one singular narrative. There's an unabashed joy to this that if you're in the mood for and have opened your third eye, can be an unforgettable experience. It can be one that entertains while educating. It doesn't mean, again, that my first viewing changes. If like many people, I'm on Letterboxd, and when I went to go log this the second time, my first time I logged it as 3.5 stars, and now I logged it as 5. And both logs exist now, both the original and the current, because that is what life is. We don't erase the past, especially the past that contradicts the present. The same way that Evelyn can't change her decisions in the past and can only choose to make decisions in the present that better reflect her refined personality. If anything, this film underscores that we must continue to search for opportunities to grow, to live in the present and find the gifts or googly eyes that life wants to provide for us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to not miss any new videos from Spoilers Ahead with Anthony Post. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you at the movies.
Don't let anything distract you from it.